So I've just had someone phone up with a Truma Combi error code, which was 632, which meant that the water switch, the 240 water temperature switch had triggered. Now that's different. That's a different reset to the hard reset that we see on the internet fairly regular, and also the soft reset that you do over the door there. So this one is slightly different. This is when the 240 is actually tripped out. Now there is a cover that you can pop off here, like that. Okay, that was a bit easier because I've already done it. Now there is, I'll show you where the button is first actually before where you reset it. Now you shouldn't really do this yourself. There's two screws that come out here and then you can pull this forward. Now on the old days, the older ones, they didn't have this red button. Now that red button there is the trip switch for the 240. Now sometimes that can pop out, and in the old, you might have an older system where you have to physically push something in there. I'm not even sure if the older ones had a little inlet there for it. I'm not sure. I think you might have had to take this cover off to actually do that. But I'd have to check that out. But on this one, you've got a big red button there. So what you'll find, if this has tripped out, is that that button there, when you press it, you'll feel a little click. Now obviously this one hasn't done it, and there's no 240 there. So it hasn't actually tripped out, but if you felt a little click there when you did that, that means it's tripped out and it's tripped back in again. Now like I said, really you shouldn't be getting into that, and you don't need to on these ones, because you can actually do this without having to get to this dangerous bit. If you do have to get to this dangerous bit, obviously disconnect your 240 before you do that, because believe me, it hurts. I've done that before. You get a hell of a clout off of that. You don't want to be doing that. So normally that will be shut like that. Okay, and you can see there's a little hole there that if you get something pokey and just poke down that hole, you can actually press that red button without having to take this cover off and be dangerous. Okay, so click that in like that. That will then reset that 240 switch, which is the water temperature over switch, which has been triggered. Okay. Now you've seen on my website there that you can go to atlanticcaravans.co.uk, and on the front homepage there you can ask my handy help bot any questions you like, and if I've trained it on that, then they will be in there. All the Truma Combi codes are there, so you saw me do that. Just ask what the Truma Combi code X or Y is, and it will come up with the answer, and it will give you a bit of a rundown. You could then ask it how to fix that, and if I populated it, which I have with most of the common ones, then it will tell you actually how to fix that as well. So that's a handy little thing to know where that is. There's lots of information on there that you can ask it, so knock yourself out there. So that's just a little handy guide onto how to trip that 240 back in, and it will do that. Now I've never quite got to the bottom of why they tripped out. We haven't had that many of them do it, so I haven't got the knowledge on that yet. Maybe I'll do a little bit of an update on that when I speak to my pet Truma man. Okay, so there you go. That's how to trip it back in again.